Yeah, hi, good afternoon, students. This is Rajaa. I'm recording this video to walk you through the chapter 4. Okay, so the chapter 4, we learn about the hardware and the software. It's pretty essential and important topic in the information system framework. And this is under module 4 using MIS hardware and software. It's on your module. So this really recording support your understanding on this concept. So the way I'm gonna these are the learning objectives. So the way I'm gonna introduce this topic is by having an open-ended question, and just taking these is your the question you describe what business professionals need to know about computer hardware and stuff, how new hardware can affect competitive strategies, etc. So I'm going to just go ahead and take one question at a time and kind of walk you through the some questions, open-ended questions, to help you really analyze and process your understanding. So what do business professionals need to know about computer hardware? So you can, computer hardware, it's a component, it's part of the information system, and it's an essential component. So we're going to do an activity using this poll everywhere. So certainly this is this is what I recommend for you, since this is an asynchronous class. Before I answer the question, go ahead and answer it to yourself, just kind of on a piece of paper. That way you can see if you are really answering correctly. And then I'm going to just go over use the question here. The question is right here. So the question is, the CPU stores the result of your computations in where? Okay, there are different type of components here. The CPU is the central processing unit. It's kind of an essential, again, components. I did post the PowerPoint, the full comprehensive PowerPoint on Canvas. And also you have access to the textbook. So prior to this, if you assume that you already read the PowerPoint, you already read the textbook chapter, you viewed the PowerPoint to help you answer these questions, and then just to get into the discussion. So here in this question, so we do have 4 options. Is it where the CPU stores? So we're talking about storage. That's one thing. Then you have a main memory is a storage, and the SSD, the solid state drive, is a storage, and the floppy disk and old technology is also storage. So it's got to be B, C, or D, right? But if I'm just gonna interact with the tool and then answer the question here based on prior to answering questions. So I start narrow down my options. So obviously it's not going to be a floppy, it's not going to be a network, it's going to be one of these two, right? Now what's the difference between the main memory and the SSD storage? They're both storage. Now this stores in the information or the processed information on the main memory, okay? And it's the temporary storage, versus the solid state drive is a permanent storage. So when you turn on the computer, okay, and you process, the computer start processing things, it needs storage, okay? So in this case, and since the CPU, because the CPU, the first interaction between the CPU and a storage is going to be between CPU and main memory. And if you decide to save for a long time, for permanent, then it's from memory to the solid state, okay? So obviously the answer to this question is going to be B, okay? And just want to we're going to walk you through some of these questions again. We're trying to answer, just to remind you, the question that what do business professionals need to know about computer hardware? All right, so I'm just going to activate this so I can interact with the tool. Okay, which of the following is an example of a storage hardware in computers? that, you know, again, we're still talking about storage hardware. So the components, another, you know, we have the central processing unit, the RAM, that stores temporary and that really communicate always with the information is transform between the CPU to the RAM, then to the permanent storage. So the options here, example of a storage is magnetic disk, web camera, inkjet printer, and projector. Obviously, it's going to be this because it says storage again. So I will go ahead and interact with the tool and answer A. Okay, that's going to be the answer to this question. Again, we're still talking about storage units. Okay, now which of the following refers to small and portable storage? So the small portable, that's portable, and again, that's the key. It's a different type of a storage. It's not the hard disk. It's the external storage portable that you plug to your device, your computer, and to store things, you know, on an external storage. Okay, nowadays we use a small USB, but nowadays we also use a new type of storage, which is the cloud. Okay, but the cloud is the software, soft storage. So you upload your document and content to the cloud. Okay, you still need to have a hardware to set up these storage devices in the cloud, but we as a users, we interact with this type of storage in the cloud. So the small is going to be the USB flash drive, and that's the correct answer to this question. Okay, let's move on with, again, terminologies. When we say the brain of the computer, what is the brain of the computer? Is it the network card, CPU, or the motherboard? The brain is the central processing unit. That's where everything is processed. Okay, the motherboard, it's actually a motherboard that holds all the components. Okay, so if I just pulled I just typed motherboard online, and assuming that I'm purchasing a motherboard, I'm just gonna come up with this. This is the motherboard here. Okay, the motherboard, as you can see, that all the components all the components are connected on the motherboard. So we have the CPU, the RAM, the ports, the other components also connected to the motherboard. But the brain is really the CPU. Okay. So in other words, if I would answer this question, I would choose B to get a correct answer on this question. Okay, main memory. Okay, so there are different type of memory on the computer. So even within the CPU itself, there are different type of memory. Okay, there's a cache memory, what we call it the secondary memory. But the main memory is the RAM, or the memory that's used to add storage, temporary storage to your computer, and that's something you can easily upgrade and add. Okay, and of course it depends on your computer configuration and the size. So again, I just searched for storage part, and this type of this is a DDR, that's specific for SD memory, and this looks like for a laptop memory, but you need to have to kind of, when you search for memory, the server cache is what type of memory you're trying to upgrade here. Okay, and give you different type of options, but the purpose of this component is to store, and it's always important to have a good size, good amount of memory, especially if you're working on accounting or any kind of number crunching applications. It is very essential to have a good size memory on your computer. Now, This is the random access memory. It's the main memory on the computer, and that's the correct answer. Now, let's move on. Server. What is a server? So that says a server. It is type of computer, but it's powerful computer. So it's usually, the servers, run the enterprise and applications. Okay, so they come in different, you can purchase, or you can set up or configure, or companies can purchase web servers, or configure the database server, or enterprise server. It's meant to run specific application. Like I can give you a very typical application that we all use is Canvas, run on cloud servers. Okay, we don't have the servers on premise, we don't have the computers at NMSU, but there exist in the cloud, and we just purchase shares. So when you have a collection of servers, we call them server farms. Okay. Okay, let's continue. My plan is to have these videos that will be coming up, and I will be recording these short videos to help you, either address a concept and of course address the Excel. So the units, when we store and we communicate on the computer, so there is a language, or there is a communication language it's used. So the bits and bits, which usually, when we talking binary language, is a 0 and 1. That's what the computers understand, what the computing devices understand. This is a machine language. Now, a group of these bits are we call them byte. Okay, so 8 bits. It's a very small unit, and 8 bits is really, we can refer to 1 byte. Okay. So we just talked about the following characters of so the memory that holds. Okay, sorry, a word just right here. So the volatile memory is the type of memory, or it's a type of computer memory that temporarily stores data and loses that data when the power is removed or turned off. Okay, versus the none is basically when you turn, such as the hard drive, when you turn the computer off, this data, the data that you stored, is still there. Okay, so which one of these are the correct answer? I'm just gonna go with the correct here and show that sort of, you saw me how I interacted with it. This is, if this is live, then you'll be able to interact. This is a synchronous class, so that's something, I have to answer it just to help you again process. However, I use the Kahoot as a type for you to the tool is to help you kind of again interact when there's an open-ended questions and you have to interact with it. So I think the contents are lost when power is off. That's exactly right. Okay, so the C is the correct answer. Now the last question I have within this just activated. Now this is very also important to know. The size of the main memory. We're talking about memories, and they come in different sizes. When you go buy computer memory, or when you go buy a computer or a laptop, you check what size, and of course they come in different sizes, and of course it depends if you are installing a memory for a laptop versus a desktop versus a server. They come in different types and shapes, and then we are gonna look at this in order. So in this chart here, I'm showing you like the sizes, so you can, let's learn 1 bit in byte. Kilobyte is the 1000, mega, 1 megabyte.